From our studios in New York City, this is TAXITV, and I'm your host. Tonight, we're taking you on a journey to the most dangerous corners of the globe. As the world grows increasingly interconnected, it's more important than ever to be aware of the dangers that lurk in certain countries. We're shining a light on the harsh realities of places where personal safety can be a grave concern. From armed conflicts and political instability to rampant crime and social unrest, these nations present a complex tapestry of challenges. Through in-depth analysis and on-the-ground reporting, we're committed to providing you with a comprehensive understanding of the risks involved. Afghanistan, a nation synonymous with conflict for decades, remains a volatile and unpredictable place. Despite the Taliban's takeover in 2021, the security situation remains precarious. The country grapples with a humanitarian crisis, a shattered economy, and a resurgence of violence. The Taliban's harsh interpretation of Islamic law has led to human rights abuses, particularly against women and girls. The threat from groups like ISIS-K adds another layer of complexity to the security landscape. Venezuela, once a prosperous South American nation, is now grappling with a devastating economic collapse that has fueled crime and social unrest. Hyperinflation has rendered the national currency practically worthless, leaving many struggling to afford basic necessities. Violent crime, including kidnappings, robberies, and murders, is rampant, often targeting both locals and foreigners. The political climate remains deeply polarized, with the Maduro regime accused of human rights abuses and corruption. The lack of basic services, including healthcare and electricity, exacerbates the already dire situation. Syria, ravaged by a brutal civil war that erupted in 2011, remains a deeply scarred and dangerous country. The conflict, involving multiple factions and foreign powers, has resulted in widespread death, displacement, and destruction. Millions have fled their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries and beyond. The Assad regime, backed by Russia and Iran, has been accused of war crimes, including the use of chemical weapons. The presence of extremist groups like ISIS further complicates the situation, posing a threat not only to Syria, but to the wider region. Chapter 4: Yemen. Yemen, located on the Arabian Peninsula, is engulfed in a catastrophic humanitarian crisis fueled by a relentless civil war. The conflict, which began in 2014, pits the internationally recognized government against Houthi rebels. The Saudi-led coalition, backing the government, has been accused of indiscriminate airstrikes that have caused significant civilian casualties. The war has crippled Yemen's infrastructure, leading to widespread hunger, disease, and displacement. The humanitarian situation is dire, with millions on the brink of famine. Chapter 5: South Sudan. South Sudan, the world's youngest nation, has been plagued by conflict and instability since gaining independence in 2011. A brutal civil war, marked by ethnic violence, has resulted in widespread death, displacement, and human rights abuses. The conflict has crippled the country's economy, leaving millions facing hunger and poverty. Despite numerous peace agreements, violence continues to flare up, perpetuating the cycle of suffering. The humanitarian situation remains dire, with limited access to basic services and widespread displacement. Chapter 6: Somalia. Somalia, located in the Horn of Africa, has been ravaged by decades of conflict, instability, and terrorism. The Al-Shabaab militant group, affiliated with Al-Qaeda, has waged a brutal insurgency, carrying out deadly attacks and terrorizing the population. The country has also grappled with piracy off its coast, disrupting international shipping lanes. The political situation remains fragile, with a weak central government struggling to assert control over the vast and impoverished nation. Despite some progress, Somalia remains a dangerous place, with ongoing security threats and a dire humanitarian situation. Chapter 7: Honduras. Honduras, a Central American nation, is grappling with rampant violence fueled by powerful drug cartels and gangs. The country has one of the highest homicide rates in the world, with San Pedro Sula often cited as one of the most dangerous cities. Drug trafficking, extortion, and gang violence plague many communities, creating a climate of fear and impunity. The weak judicial system and widespread corruption exacerbate the problem, making it difficult to bring perpetrators to justice. Many Hondurans, particularly young people, choose to flee their homes, embarking on perilous journeys north in search of safety and a better life. Chapter 8, El Salvador. El Salvador, a small Central American nation, has long been plagued by gang violence, making it one of the most dangerous countries in the world. The notorious MS-13 and Barrio 18 gangs control vast territories, terrorizing communities and engaging in extortion, drug trafficking and murder. The government's crackdown on gangs while reducing homicides has been criticized for human rights abuses. The country also faces challenges related to poverty, inequality, and a lack of opportunities, particularly for young people. Despite some progress, El Salvador remains a dangerous place, with high levels of violence and impunity. Chapter 9, Haiti. Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, is grappling with a multitude of challenges, including political instability, gang violence, and a dire humanitarian situation. The assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021 plunged the country into further chaos, exacerbating existing problems. Powerful gangs control large swaths of the capital, Port-au-Prince, and other areas, engaging in kidnappings, extortion, and violence. A devastating earthquake in 2010 compounded Haiti's woes, destroying infrastructure and displacing millions. The country also faces challenges related to poverty, inequality, and a lack of access to basic services. Chapter 10, Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea, a Pacific island nation, faces significant challenges related to crime, tribal violence, and social unrest. The country has a high rate of violent crime, including robberies, assaults, and sexual violence, particularly in urban areas. Tribal conflicts, often fueled by land disputes and traditional rivalries, can erupt into violence, displacing communities and disrupting lives. Corruption and weak governance exacerbate these problems, undermining the rule of law and creating a climate of impunity. Despite its natural beauty and cultural richness, Papua New Guinea remains a challenging destination, requiring travelers to exercise extreme caution. The countries we've explored tonight paint a stark picture of the challenges facing many parts of the world. From entrenched conflicts and rampant crime to political instability and humanitarian crises, these nations remind us of the fragility of peace and security. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of these problems, but understanding the complexities is crucial. By shedding light on these often overlooked corners of the globe, we aim to foster a deeper understanding of the global landscape and the interconnectedness of our world. Join us again next time as we continue to explore the critical issues shaping our times right here on TAXITV.